Have you ever felt like there's more to reality than what meets the eye? What if I told you there are ancient principles that can reveal the hidden forces shaping your world? Welcome to Vortex Tribe, where we journey into the heart of consciousness, energy, and universal truths. Today we're diving into the 7 Hermetic Principles. These timeless laws are said to hold the key to mastering not just the world around us, but the universe within. So, if you've ever wondered about the forces that shape our reality, or how you can align with the rhythms of the cosmos to manifest your deepest desires, stick around. You're about to discover how these ancient principles can be applied in the modern world to transform your life in ways you may never have imagined. The path to enlightenment begins now. We begin with the cornerstone of Hermetic philosophy, the principle of mentalism. All is mind. The universe is mental, the Kybalion. What does that really mean? It means everything you see out there, from the person in front of you, to the money in your account, to the state of the world, is actually happening inside your consciousness. Not metaphorically, literally. Your thoughts don't just influence your life. They are the substance of your life. We are walking through a mind-made field, a living mirror of consciousness. You're not just thinking about the world. You are thinking the world into form. Every belief you hold, every emotion you suppress, every word you speak is shaping your reality. And here's the part nobody tells you. Mentalism doesn't care if you know it or not. It's always working. You're either wielding it consciously or being used by it unconsciously. You are the projector, not the screen. Imagine watching a movie, but getting frustrated because you don't like the scene. So you start yelling at the screen, trying to change the image, scratching it, painting over it, even unplugging the TV. But you never touch the projector. This is how most people live. They try to fix the external world without ever addressing the mental patterns behind it. They rearrange relationships, switch jobs, jump spiritual paths. But until you understand the principle of mentalism, you're just changing costumes in the same play. Mentalism says your outer life is a delayed printout of your inner reality. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are is what you think. Not once, not occasionally, but consistently, habitually, unconsciously. Want to know what you truly believe? Look around. Your life doesn't lie. Why you're still stuck, even if you think positive. You've probably heard this before. Your thoughts create your reality. Think positive. Raise your vibration. But what happens when you do all that, and life still feels like chaos? What then? The truth is, you are thinking in layers. Your conscious mind might be affirming abundance, but your subconscious still believes you're unworthy. That's why it doesn't work, because your dominant mind is what manifests. Mentalism isn't about repeating mantras. It's about reprogramming your inner code. And most of us were coded by our childhood conditioning, the school system, trauma we never processed, a society that teaches us to fear our own power. Until that code changes, the patterns repeat. This isn't your fault, but once you know it, it becomes your responsibility. Because if the universe is mental, then every thought is a creative act, and every belief is a spell. The mind as a portal. Let's zoom out. What if this mind you're using isn't even yours? What if the mind is a portal, a doorway through which source experiences itself? Mentalism isn't just about personal manifestation. It's about remembering that you are the mind of the universe, filtered through your own soul's lens. Every day, you're channeling reality. You are broadcasting frequency, and the world is responding to your broadcast, like a mirror that never lies. So what station are you tuned to? Fear, lack, doubt, or presence? Love, expansion? You can't fake your vibration. The universe reads your frequency, not your fantasy. And when your thoughts, emotions, and energy align, reality bends to your being. This is the real law of attraction, not manifestation as wishful thinking, but creation as identity alignment. Activation, the mentalist's code. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: I am the cause, not the effect. I am the mind, not the thought. I am the creator, not the consequence. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to become conscious of your patterns, because awareness changes the code. You are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not your conditioning. You are the mind of God, dreaming itself into form. The principle of mentalism isn't here to make you feel powerful for a moment. It's here to remind you that you already are the power. What now? So, what do you do with this knowledge? Start small. Observe your thoughts like clouds. Catch the programs that don't serve you. Replace "I can't" with "How can I?" Meditate. Reflect. Visualize, recode. Because once you shift the inner, the outer has no choice but to follow. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. The emerald tablet. This isn't a metaphor. It's the blueprint of how reality echoes through dimensions. The macrocosm and the microcosm are mirrors. Your thoughts and emotions form the energetic template, and the universe simply reflects them back. Your relationships mirror your self-worth. Your bank account mirrors your beliefs about receiving. Your health mirrors your inner alignment or disconnection. And when you start seeing the world as a reflection, everything becomes a message, a signal, an invitation. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What within me is being reflected here?" That's the shift. Life as a holographic classroom. Imagine your life like a hologram, where every part contains the whole. Every moment contains a clue, and every person is a piece of your inner landscape. If someone abandons you, ask where you've been abandoning yourself. If life keeps handing you chaos, ask where your mind and emotions are disorganized. If you keep attracting the same challenge, ask what soul lesson you're avoiding. Correspondence is the sacred feedback loop between spirit and matter. You are not being punished, you're being shown. But most people don't want to look in the mirror. They'd rather blame, run, repeat. That's why the same cycles come back in different costumes. Until you see it, you can't shift it. Your outer world is a map. Let's get real. Most of us have been taught to control the external, fix the partner, get the promotion, change the scenery. But the principle of correspondence reveals this truth. The outer world is downstream. The inner world is the source. Trying to control outcomes without addressing your frequency is like mopping the floor, while the ceiling's still leaking. The moment you clean up the source, the pattern dissolves. Want a better relationship? Mirror the love, safety, and boundaries within. Want financial flow? Mirror trust, worthiness, and abundance within. Want peace? Create it in your nervous system. Don't wait for the world to give it to you, because the world is you. Above, below, within, without. This principle doesn't just work between the individual and the environment. It applies across dimensions. Astrology works because celestial bodies mirror psychological archetypes. Sacred geometry repeats the same patterns in seashells and galaxies. Your breath mirrors the pulse of cosmic cycles. Above reflects below. Inner reflects outer. Spiritual reflects material. You are a walking reflection of the all, and the all is experiencing itself through you. There is no separation. The universe is a perfect fractal of truth, and your life is a sacred fragment of that pattern, unfolding exactly as it needs to show you. You. Activation. Read the mirror. So how do you use this principle? Simple. You stop judging the mirror, and you start learning from it. Every irritation becomes a teacher. Every trigger becomes a map. Every breakdown becomes a doorway. Here's the mental reframe. Everything in my external world is feedback. Not failure, not chaos. Feedback. Now you're not lost. You're being guided. Because life is always speaking. Not in words, but in reflection. The question is, are you listening? What now? If you're brave enough to look into the mirror, to stop chasing and start reflecting, to ask, what is this showing me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? You'll unlock the secret to quantum healing, conscious relationships, and the kind of reality that responds to your alignment, not your effort. This is correspondence. This is cosmic accountability, and it's yours now. The principle of vibration. The Matrix unveiled. In the Hermetic teachings, it says, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Long before quantum physics, ancient mystics knew reality isn't solid, it's frequency. Your desk, your phone, your body, your mind, all vibrating, just at different speeds. What looks like stillness is just movement we can't see. Even your emotions have a tone. Even your thoughts create a wave. And this invisible orchestra, it's conducting your life, whether you're aware of it or not. We're not in a material universe. We're in a musical one. And you're the instrument and the composer. Your life equals your vibe. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you vibrate. It's not about vision boards or repeating mantras. It's about the energy behind them. Low-frequency emotions, fear, shame, apathy, block flow. High-frequency states, love, joy, gratitude, unlock synchronicity. Ever walked into a room and felt the heaviness? Or met someone who lit up the whole space? That's vibration. It's why trauma healing changes your energetic signature. Breathwork calms the chaos. Embodied gratitude magnetizes miracles. Your vibe doesn't lie. It whispers your truth before you speak a word. And your life right now, it's the physical echo of your internal signal. Ask yourself, what frequency have I been broadcasting? This is why it matters. This changes everything. Because if you're stuck, it's not about hustling harder. It's about tuning deeper. Most people try to change the mirror, but Hermeticism says, change the source. To change your mood or mental state, change your vibration. You are not powerless. You are a transmitter, a tuner, a creator. When you shift your vibration, reality has no choice but to reorganize. Even the cells in your body respond to frequency. Even water crystallizes differently based on sound. So what is your body, 70% water, becoming under your thoughts? What signal are you sending to the field around you? Activation. Here's your reframe. You don't need to force the world. You just need to tune yourself. Start here. Breathe deeper than usual. Feel the subtle hum inside you. Choose a thought that feels 1% lighter. Speak your truth, kindly, clearly. Surround yourself with frequency raisers, not energy drainers. Say this out loud. I am not stuck. I am vibration, and I choose my frequency. Let it echo. Let it anchor. You are your own tuning fork. What now? Everything is energy. Everything is frequency. Everything is vibration. Now that you know, what will you tune to? The principle of polarity. Matrix unveiled. The ancient Hermetic text says, everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. That sounds deep, but it's not just old words. It's how life really works. Hot and cold, they're both temperature. One has more heat, one has less. Love and hate, they're both big feelings. One is healthy, one is hurt. Light and dark, they're not enemies. They need each other. Without shadow, you couldn't see the light. And in psychology, Carl Jung said, the shadow, the dark parts we hide, is where the treasure is. This law teaches, don't fight your opposites. Learn from them. Every feeling you run from can help you grow. Polarity isn't here to hurt you. It's the code that helps you transform. Your life equals your polarity pattern. Let's make it real. Think of your relationships. Ever love someone so much it hurt? That's polarity. Think of money, swinging between abundance and scarcity. That's polarity. Even your self-worth can shift from I am divine to I'm not enough in seconds. That's polarity. But the truth is, you're not broken. You're oscillating. When you identify too strongly with either end, you suffer. But when you recognize the rhythm, you transcend. You don't need to suppress the pain. You need to learn from the swing. Because the swing of the pendulum to the left is the measure of the swing to the right. And the key? Conscious awareness. This is why it matters. When you stop resisting one side of the spectrum, you unlock the full range of your power. Polarity teaches you emotional alchemy. It shows you that healing isn't linear. It's oscillatory. Mastery isn't about avoiding extremes. It's about anchoring your center as you surf them. Every negative emotion is a guide. Every trigger is a teacher. You don't need to eliminate polarity. You need to integrate it. Because when you do, you become whole. Activation. Here's your reframe. You are not divided. You are dynamic. Start here. Name the negative emotion without judgment. Ask, what's the opposite of this emotion? Find the bridge, the lesson, the growth, the gift. Speak this aloud. I honor both the pain and the peace. I am the still point between the opposites. I do not reject any part of me. I embrace all I am becoming. Repeat it. Breathe it in. Let the extremes dissolve. Let the integration begin. What now? Everything is dual. Everything swings. But the wise remain still in the center. That's the power of polarity. The principle of rhythm. The matrix unveiled. You are not failing. You're cycling. The Hermetic law of rhythm teaches everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The Kybalion. In nature, we see it everywhere. The sun and moon, breathing in and out, ocean tides, birth and death. So why do we expect life to be a straight line? This law says every high has a low, every low has a high. The secret is not resisting the swing, but riding it. If you try to force summer in the middle of winter, you suffer. But when you honor the season you're in, you align with nature itself. Your life equals your rhythm pattern. Let's get real. Your emotional highs and lows, they're not random. They're part of your personal wave. Ever notice how you feel different at the start of the month versus the end? Or how energy dips after a big win? That's rhythm. This law plays out in relationships, creativity, money cycles, your nervous system, even your spiritual awakenings. You swing into expansion and contraction, clarity and confusion. It's all part of the same pulse. But here's the key. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. So stop fearing the fall. It's just the prelude to the rise. This is why it matters. When you understand rhythm, you stop fighting life. You become a surfer, not a struggler. You no longer shame yourself for feeling low. You prepare for it, honor it, learn from it. This is why spiritual bypassing fails. You can't positive think your way out of a season meant for rest. Rhythm teaches plan for the dip, extract wisdom from the low, celebrate the rise without clinging. Mastery isn't about staying high, it's about staying conscious through the swing. The more aware you are, the less you suffer. Activation. Here's your reframe. You are not broken, you are in motion. Start here. Track your energy for 30 days. If you're male, see if it coincides with the moon. The full moon is like summer, and usually there is more energy around. If you're female, see how your energy coincides with your cycle. Around ovulation is usually full moon and summer energy for females. Note your emotional, creative, and spiritual waves. Align your tasks with your energetic seasons. Say this aloud. I ride the rhythm. I honor the swing. I trust the rise and the fall. Let it settle in your cells, because life isn't static. It's sacred motion. What now? Everything rises, everything falls. But when you learn the rhythm, you stop fearing either. You become the dancer, not the dance. The principle of cause and effect. The matrix unveiled. Most people believe life is random. Coincidences, bad luck, karma. But the Hermetic masters knew every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Behind every experience is an energetic thread. This law breaks the illusion of victimhood. It reveals that your thoughts are causes. Your emotions are causes. Your silence is a cause. Even your subconscious beliefs are causes. They don't always produce instant results, but they always produce something. The question is, are you creating consciously, or are you reacting unconsciously? Your life equals your mind. Let's get real. Look at your health, relationships, money, mood. What's showing up is feedback, not punishment. It's just cause and effect. If your body is in burnout, what was the cause? If your partner is emotionally distant, what are you putting out? If abundance is blocked, what thoughts or actions are repelling it? This isn't blame, it's power. Because once you see yourself as the cause, you stop waiting to be rescued. You become the activator. This is the moment you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what am I ready to change within me? This is why it matters. Most people live in reaction. They fight fires, blame others, wait for better timing. But cause and effect says that timing was caused by you. You are not a puppet. You are the coder. This matters because when you reclaim causality, you reclaim responsibility without guilt, power without control, influence without fear. You understand that even your pain served a purpose, that your struggles shaped your strength, that every moment you wake up and choose again is a new cause. That's freedom, activation. Repeat this mantra to yourself. I am the cause of my reality. My thoughts are seeds, my actions are spells. I choose to create with awareness, not fear. I don't wait for miracles. I am the miracle. What now? Nothing in your life is an accident. Every cause has been recorded. Every effect can be rewritten. You are no longer a victim of life. You are the author. The principle of gender. Matrix unveiled. The ancient Hermetic texts say, gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. But let's be clear, this has nothing to do with gender roles, stereotypes, or identity politics. It's about energy. The masculine energy is about logic, direction, structure, action, consciousness. The feminine energy is about intuition, receptivity, nurture, creation, subconscious. One is the seed, the other is the soil. One is the beam, the other is the flow. Creation only happens when they unite. The illusion of separation, of this or that, masculine or feminine, is just that, an illusion. You are both, and the more divided you are inside, the more divided your outer life becomes. Your life equals your inner union. Let's make this real. If you've ever worked non-stop but felt unfulfilled, that's overactive masculine with suppressed feminine. Felt deeply, dreamed big, but never acted. That's wounded feminine without structure. Attracted partners that mirror your emotional chaos or shut down. That's your inner masculine/feminine imbalance projected outward. Even your relationship with money reflects this. Masculine energy goes out to create value. Feminine energy receives and holds it. But if your inner masculine is over-controlling, you'll repel flow. If your inner feminine doesn't feel safe, you'll reject abundance. Same with creativity. The feminine receives the inspiration. The masculine puts it into form. When they're split, you feel blocked. When they unite, you become a divine channel. This is why it matters. Most people are walking around trying to be successful, but they're doing it from wounded masculine. Hustle with no joy. Achievement with no nourishment. Action with no connection. Or they've swung to the other extreme, bypassing in wounded feminine, floating with no focus, feeling without anchoring, spirituality with no ground. The result? Burnout, confusion, repeating patterns in love, work, and health. But when you consciously integrate your inner masculine and feminine, everything shifts. You stop looking for someone to complete you. You stop trying to prove yourself. You create from wholeness, because true manifestation is born from polarity. And when that polarity is aligned within, the outer world bends to your inner balance. Activation. Here's your reframe. You are not broken. You are divided. But only because you forgot how powerful your wholeness is. Let's return to union. Say this aloud. I honor the sacred masculine within me, the structure, the clarity, the action. I honor the divine feminine within me, the flow, the feeling, the creation. I unite them. I create from balance. I am the living temple, where heaven meets earth. Repeat it, and really feel into each word spoken. See how it feels in the fibers of your being. Because when your inner marriage is whole, everything around you begins to align. What now? This is the seventh Hermetic law, gender. But in truth, it's just the beginning. Because when you embody all seven, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender, you don't just understand reality. You become the co-creator of it. The hidden eighth Hermetic principle. You've just heard of the 7 Hermetic principles. But what if I told you there's an eighth principle, one so powerful it was hidden in plain sight? A principle that holds the key to why you feel separate and how to reclaim your true power. Before we go deeper, understand that officially, the Hermetic tradition, especially as taught in the Kybalion, speaks of 7 principles. However, in deeper layers of Hermetic mysticism, alchemy, and Kabbalistic Hermeticism, many esoteric scholars hint that there's a hidden current beneath them all, an eighth principle not openly named, but deeply implied. Now, we're going to explore that hidden truth. The hidden eighth Hermetic principle is unity consciousness. The 7 principles are not incomplete. They are sacred keys to understanding the universe. But they are the visible spectrum of a deeper, infinite reality, the all, the one mind, the source field. In ancient Hermetic mysticism, it was whispered that all principles arise from the all, the infinite intelligence behind mind, vibration, rhythm, polarity, and form itself. The principles describe how existence moves, but the all is what existence itself is made of. Mind and matter, just different densities of the same intelligence. Above and below, reflections in the same infinite mirror. Rhythm and flow, pulses in the same living heart. The 7 laws map the choreography of creation. But the eighth principle reveals the stunning truth. You are not merely observing the universe, you are the universe, observing itself. Imagine consciousness, pure, infinite, formless, as the pure sky. But if the sky remained empty forever, it could never feel the wind across its skin. It could never hear the running of rivers. It could never fall in love with its own reflection in the eyes of another. So consciousness dreamed itself into forms. It became rivers and mountains, birds and forests, the sun and the stars, and you. Your body, your experiences, your emotions, they are not distractions from your spiritual nature. They are the sacred instruments through which consciousness gets to feel itself fully. Just like thoughts floating through the mind are not the mind itself, you are not just the mind's chatter either. You are the vast awareness that holds it all. Without these bodies, without these journeys, without the play of forgetting and remembering, the one could never savor the joy of rediscovery, the thrill of reunion, the ecstasy of falling back in love with itself. This is why existence unfolds, not as a test, not as a punishment, but as a love story. The universe didn't create you to survive it. It created you to experience it, to become lost in the dream, and then awaken inside it, remembering you were the dreamer all along. Separation is the illusion. Unity is the truth. You are not reaching for the divine. You are the divine, reaching for itself. The eighth principle is not something to master. It is something to remember. What now? Ancient wisdom meets quantum science. Modern quantum physics now whispers a truth that ancient mystics already sang into the stars. Quantum entanglement shows that two particles, once connected, remain intertwined across space and time, a reflection of the Hermetic Principle of Correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. Unified field theory suggests that beneath everything we see, every star, every thought, every cell, is one vast, vibrating field of infinite information and energy. The observer effect proves that consciousness is not passive. It shapes reality simply by observing it, echoing the principle of mentalism. All is mind. In the language of Hermetics, what ancient mystics knew intuitively, modern scientists are only now beginning to measure, name, and prove. You are not simply moving through a cold, mechanical universe. You are participating in an intelligent living field that responds to your every vibration, your every intention, your every breath. As the great mystic Rumi so eloquently said, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." You are not small. You are not separate. You are not forgotten. You are a fractal of the infinite, carrying the signature of the all within every cell, every dream, every heartbeat. The journey isn't about becoming something greater. It's about remembering the greatness you already are and realigning with the field that has been whispering your name since before time was born. Why this changes everything. When you truly understand the eighth Hermetic Principle, unity consciousness, you stop asking, "Will the universe support me?" And you start realizing, "I am the universe supporting itself." You stop living life as a seeker. You start living as a creator, an extension of Source, shaping reality through consciousness and will. Because now you know, every prayer you speak is a command within the field. Every thought you entertain echoes into the web of existence. Every action you take is an act of the universe evolving itself through you. This isn't about manifesting things to prove your worth. It's about remembering that worth is your original blueprint. You are the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the mirror where spirit meets matter, the place where the one becomes the many, and the many returns to the one. You are not just a participant in reality. You are its active co-creator. And now, the only question left is, what new world will you choose to birth through your remembering? You were never separate. You were simply dreaming you were. Now, you are awakening. And the universe is awakening through you. Remember who you are. Walk as the field. Speak as the creator. Love as the one. This is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new dream, one where you know you're dreaming and creating at the same time. Welcome back to yourself. Subscribe for more educational content that helps to raise our collective consciousness. Until next time.